Did you know there's a community living in the 1800s right now, in the 21st century? Meet the Mennonites. Imagine a community nestled away from the hustle and bustle of our modern world, where time seems to have stood still. This is the world of the Mennonites, a fascinating group of people who choose to live a lifestyle reminiscent of the 19th century. The Mennonites are a Christian group with roots in the Anabaptist movement of the Reformation. They're known for their commitment to peace, community, and a simple way of life. But what makes them particularly intriguing is their deliberate choice to live in a manner that might seem like a page out of a history book to most of us. Living mostly in rural communities, the Mennonites lead a life that is starkly different from ours. They shun most modern amenities, choosing instead to live in a way that reflects their belief in simplicity and community. Picture horse-drawn buggies instead of cars, candlelight instead of electric bulbs, and handmade clothes instead of store-bought fashion. The Mennonites' way of life might seem mysterious to an outsider, but it's deeply rooted in their religious beliefs and values. Their choice to live in isolation, away from the influences of the modern world, is a testament to their commitment to their faith and traditions. And while their lifestyle might seem austere, it's also filled with a sense of community and a rhythm of life that many find appealing. The Mennonites have a rich culture that is expressed through their music, food, and communal activities. Their unique blend of old world traditions and strong community ties creates a cultural tapestry that is both fascinating and mysterious. The Mennonites, with their traditional lifestyle and unique culture, are a testament to the diversity of human experience. They remind us that there are many ways to live and that each one has its own beauty and value. Now let's dive into the history of the Mennonites to understand how this all began. The story of the Mennonites begins in the 16th century, in the heart of Europe. As we journey back in time, we find ourselves in the midst of the Protestant Reformation, a period of religious upheaval and transformation. It was during this turbulent time that a Dutch Catholic priest named Menno Simons began to question the Church's doctrines. His teachings rejecting infant baptism and advocating for adult baptism, based on a free will decision, gave birth to a new religious group known as the Mennonites. Fast forward to the 17th century, the Mennonites, like many other religious groups of the time, faced persecution for their beliefs. They were seen as radical dissenters who posed a threat to the established religious order. This led to one of the most defining periods in Mennonite history, their migration to the Americas. Their journey was far from easy. Picture, if you will, a group of people, bound together by faith, leaving behind everything they knew, boarding ships for a land unknown. They had to face harsh seas, disease, and the uncertainty of what lay ahead. But despite these struggles, they held on to their faith, their sense of community, and their commitment to pacifism and simplicity. Once they reached the shores of the New World, the Mennonites found themselves in a land of opportunity. Yet, this was also a land of challenges. They had to adapt to a new climate, cultivate unfamiliar soil, and navigate relations with the indigenous peoples and other settlers. But they persevered, drawing from their resilience and resourcefulness. They established settlements, first in Pennsylvania in the late 17th century, then spreading out across North America, from the lush farmlands of the Midwest to the rugged landscapes of the Canadian prairies. Here, they were able to practice their faith freely, live according to their principles, and maintain their distinct dress and language. And it wasn't just the geography that they changed. They brought with them their unique ways of farming, their skills in craftsmanship, and their communal way of life. They built schools, churches, and businesses, contributing to the growth and development of their new home. But the Mennonites didn't stop at North America. In the 20th century, some Mennonites sought new lands, moving to Latin America, where they continued their tradition of farming and living in close-knit communities. Throughout their history, the Mennonites have faced adversity, from religious persecution to the hardships of migration. But they've also shown a remarkable ability to adapt and thrive, all while holding on to their core beliefs and values. These experiences have shaped them into the community we know today, a community that, despite its isolation, has made significant contributions to the world. With their roots firmly planted in the New World, the Mennonites began to establish their distinct way of life. And as we'll see in the next scene, this way of life is a fascinating reflection of their history, their beliefs, and their enduring spirit. Imagine living without electricity, cars, or the internet. This is the reality for the Mennonites. Now let's dive into the fascinating lifestyle of the Mennonites. A lifestyle that is as simple as it is profound, as humble as it is rich. It's a way of life that prioritizes community and hard work over modern conveniences and distractions. In the heart of the Mennonite community, you won't find any buzzing electrical appliances or the hum of machines. The Mennonites have chosen to live without these modern comforts. No television screens flicker in their homes. No smartphones chirp with notifications. This lack of technology, however, doesn't mean a lack of contentment. In fact, it's quite the opposite. The absence of technological distractions allows for a stronger focus on community, spirituality, and manual labor, values at the heart of the Mennonite lifestyle. The Mennonites' commitment to hard work is most evident in their farming practices. They've shunned the use of modern machinery, choosing instead to rely on time-honored methods. Picture vast fields being plowed by horse-drawn implements, crops being harvested by hand, and grains being milled using wind and water power. This might seem like an uphill battle in today's age of technological advancements, but for the Mennonites, it's an affirmation of their commitment to simplicity and self-reliance. Now let's talk about their clothing. Mennonites are easily recognizable by their traditional dress, which is a visual representation of their commitment to modesty and humility. Men typically wear dark trousers and suspenders, along with straw hats, while women don long dresses and head coverings. This attire, unchanged through centuries, serves as a constant reminder of their dedication to their faith and their resistance to the changing trends of the outside world. But the Mennonite lifestyle isn't just about rejecting modernity. It's about a deep sense of community, where everyone has a role to play and everyone looks out for one another. It's about communal meals, where the food is not just shared, but also grown and prepared together. It's about barn raisings, where entire structures are built in a day with the help of neighbors. It's about worship services, where voices rise in unison, singing hymns without the accompaniment of musical instruments. Yes, living like it's the 1800s isn't easy, especially in a world where technology and convenience are often equated with progress. But the Mennonites aren't looking for an easy life. They're looking for a meaningful one. They've chosen to live this way, not because they have to, but because they want to. They've embraced a way of life that many of us might find hard to understand. But for them, it's a choice they've made willingly. Living like it's the 1800s isn't easy, but for the Mennonites, it's a choice they've made willingly. In a world that's constantly changing, the Mennonites stand as a testament to a simpler time. Yet, as we move further into the 21st century, one cannot help but wonder how this community has managed to preserve their way of life amidst the relentless march of progress. In a world where smartphones and the internet are practically omnipresent, the Mennonites live a life that is almost untouched by modern technology. They travel by horse-drawn buggies, farm with hand tools, and live in homes without electricity. They've maintained this lifestyle not out of necessity, but by choice. They believe in living simply, valuing hard work, community, and faith above all else. Preserving this way of life, however, is not without its challenges. The Mennonites face pressure from the outside world to modernize. On one hand, the allure of modern conveniences can be tempting, especially for the younger generation. On the other hand, the community also grapples with the need for certain modern amenities for health and safety reasons. Yet, the Mennonites have found ways to adapt without compromising their principles. For instance, while they shun electricity from public lines, some communities use solar panels or wind turbines to generate power for essential needs. This is a perfect example of how they balance their commitment to a simple lifestyle with the demands of the modern world. But the pressures of modernity aren't the only challenges the Mennonites face. Issues of cultural preservation are equally pressing. How does a community keep its traditions alive in a world that's constantly evolving? How do they pass on their values and way of life to the younger generation who are exposed to the allure of the modern world? In response to these challenges, the Mennonites place great emphasis on education. However, it's not the kind of education many of us are familiar with. Mennonite schools focus on teaching practical skills like farming, carpentry, and sewing, along with basic reading, writing, and arithmetic. More importantly, they teach the values and principles that the Mennonite community holds dear. This way, they ensure that their way of life and beliefs continue to thrive. Interestingly, the Mennonites' resistance to change has garnered them a certain level of fascination and respect from the outside world. Many people admire their commitment to their values and their ability to live contentedly without the trappings of modern life. Some even view them as a living example of sustainable living and a counterpoint to our consumerist culture. Even in the face of these challenges, the Mennonites continue to hold on to their traditions, standing as a beacon of a bygone era. They remind us that in our pursuit of progress, we shouldn't lose sight of the things that truly matter: community, simplicity, and a connection to the world around us. It's a testament to the power of living intentionally, choosing what we hold dear, and standing firm in our convictions, no matter what the world throws our way. The Mennonites aren't just about living in the past. They've also developed a rich and intriguing culture. This community, often seen as a living relic of the past, has a culture that is a vibrant tapestry woven with threads of tradition, language, cuisine, and music. Let's delve into this unique cultural landscape. The Mennonites speak a dialect known as Pennsylvania German, or Pennsylvania Dutch, a language that has its roots in the Palatinate region of Germany. This linguistic peculiarity sets them apart, serving as a cultural identifier and a testament to their historical origins. Their music is deeply rooted in their religious beliefs. Shaped by the simplicity and devotion of their lifestyle, Mennonite hymns are often a cappella, without the accompaniment of musical instruments. These hymns are sung in four-part harmony, creating a sound that resonates with the depth of their faith. Moving on to their cuisine, it is a delightful mix of simplicity and robust flavors. Mennonite food is largely influenced by their agricultural lifestyle. Staples like corn, potatoes, and homemade bread are common, often accompanied by hearty stews and preserves. Choufle pie, a sweet molasses crumb cake, is a beloved dessert that is quintessentially Mennonite. The Mennonites also have unique traditions that reflect their values of community and faith. Their weddings, for instance, are simple yet profoundly meaningful, focusing more on the spiritual union than extravagant celebrations. Another fascinating tradition is the barn raising, where the community comes together to build a barn for a family in need, embodying the spirit of communal support and cooperation. However, it's important to remember that Mennonite culture is not monolithic. Variations exist between different communities, influenced by their geographical locations and the extent of their interaction with the outside world. Their culture is a testament to their resilience and their commitment to their beliefs. Despite the pressures of modernization, the Mennonites have managed to preserve their cultural heritage, offering us a glimpse into a way of life that values simplicity, community, and faith above all else. So, what can we learn from the Mennonites? Well, folks, our journey through the world of the Mennonites has been quite a revelation, hasn't it? We've traveled through time, explored a culture that's a living museum of the past, and discovered a community that thrives on simplicity and faith. The Mennonites are a testament to the strength of tradition. Their lifestyle, unchanged for centuries, stands defiant in the face of our fast-paced digital age. They've shown us that it's possible to live without the trappings of modern technology, to appreciate the beauty of a life lived closer to nature. They've reminded us of the value of hard work, community, and a simpler way of life. But it's not just about the lifestyle. The Mennonites also teach us about resilience. Despite being isolated from the rest of the world, they've managed to maintain their distinct cultural identity. They've clung to their beliefs and traditions, even when it meant facing hardships and difficulties. And that's a lesson in perseverance that we all could take to heart. The Mennonites also challenge our very concept of progress. In a world where we're always chasing the next big thing, the Mennonites ask us to pause and reflect. Is our relentless pursuit of progress always beneficial? Or do we sometimes lose sight of the things that truly matter? The Mennonites show us that there's more than one way to live a fulfilling life. And that's a perspective we could all benefit from considering. So, as we wrap up our journey, let's reflect on the lessons we've learned from the Mennonites. Let's remember their commitment to simplicity, their resilience in the face of adversity, and their challenge to our understanding of progress. And let's carry these lessons with us as we navigate our own paths in this complex, ever-changing world. In a world that's always looking forward, the Mennonites remind us that sometimes looking back can be just as enlightening.